Hi, welcome. When it comes to shopping, I feel so spoiled for being able to get what I need anytime, anywhere. And thanks to the marketing team, I'm also able to get things that I didn't even know I needed or wanted at the first place. Today, I'm going to talk about my plan for no buy by showing you all the purchases I've made during the past holiday season, because I am going to evaluate each purchases to check just how rational I was with those purchases. Let me start by showing you the products first.
So this is all the product I have purchased during the past holiday sale. It's really not a lot. I also put together 5 questions for me to answer at a score of 1 to 10 for this evaluation. Each question plays a role when it comes to reflecting whether or not the product was something I wanted or I was just getting it because of the sale. Basically, the higher the item scores, the more rational I think I was with the purchase. And because I was supposed to be on a low buy, only 75% above would be considered as a pass. Anything below that 75% mark will be considered irrational. Alright, let's go through them one by one. First, I'm going to start with this Essence Dancing Green eyeshadow palette. This one I have wanted for a bit over 2 years, and I'm a huge fan of green eyeshadows. I haven't touched any of the items here. Just trying to peel this. This one gets a solid 10 for the first 2 questions. The third question refers to whether or not the sale percentage was big enough for me to break that low buy rule I have. Aside from the Pat McGrath palette, everything else is 25% off. For drugstore, 25% off is not bad. And from my observation, Essence doesn't really go on sale that much. Let's give it a swatch. It's solid. This one gets 8 for question 3. Question 4 is, could I have waited for the next sale season for the same percentage off? I know the 25% off sale will happen for sure. What I'm not sure is whether or not this item will be discontinued and when. And this is a palette that I really wanted. So for this question, I'll give it a 5. For the next question, of course, I love this palette, so I'm gonna give it a 10. That means at the end, this palette scored 86, which is a pass. Next one is the Maybelline Falsies mascara. This used to be my favorite mascara. It has been years since I wanted to repurchase it, but I got so caught up with all the other mascaras I have that I never had a chance to purchase this, and I miss it so much. So this one's gonna get a 10 for the first and second question. I know Maybelline goes on sale very often, but this one still get an 8 for question 3 because I did get it on markdown on top of the 25% off. For the next question, could I have waited? I could have waited for the same discount, but I really miss having a good mascara that gives me volume and length. So this one's gonna get a 7 for question 4 and question 5. At the end, Maybelline mascara scored 84, which is a solid pass. Moving on to this e.l.f. Brow Lift. This one, I haven't been eyeing it for very long, but I kind of had a strong desire to try it. I'm gonna give it an 8 for question 1. And for question 2, yes, I will still try it even if this never goes on sale. So it gets a 9. For question 3, I think I'm gonna give it a 7. Question 4, oh yeah, I could have waited for this item. But at the same time, I really don't have a lot of brow products. So let's give this one a neutral 5. Last question, because I don't have a lot of brow product, this one definitely plays a very unique role. I don't regret getting it, and I'm quite excited to give it a try. For now, I'm gonna give it an 8 for this question. So the e.l.f. Brow Lift scored a 74, which is just 1% shy from being a pass. That is our first irrational purchase. The next one, let's go with this top coat. This one is gonna be very quick. I ran out of my top coat, so it's the item that I needed. That's gonna be a 10 for question 1 and question 2. And for question 3, the sale percentage, I actually don't know if this brand goes on sale often or not. Let's just give it an 8. For the next question, of course, I can't wait, so it's gonna be a 10. I don't really know if it is gonna work very well, but I'm not super picky with the top coat. So it gets a 10 for the last question. Of course, this one slays the evaluation with a score of 94, simply because it was a much needed item. Since we're here, let's talk about this one. The clear nail polish. This one, if I remember correctly, I got it because I had to make up for the purchase. So I had basically no desire whatsoever. If I'm gonna be honest, this one is gonna score 1 for question 1. But the price was super affordable, and I might still get it at some point to mix it with the glitter set I have. I'm gonna give it an 8 for question 2. And question 3, I think I'm gonna give it an 8. I could definitely wait for this item. I'm gonna give it a 2 for question 4. This is actually my only clear nail polish. I could use it here and there. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 for the last question. This item scored 50%. That means it was irrational, which is not a surprise. The next one is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. I have wanted to try this for a while now, and Essence is very affordable regardless, so it's gonna get an 8 for question 1 and question 2. For the next question, I could have waited for this one, and I should have waited because I already have a lot of mascara. Especially, I know for sure I wanted the Maybelline mascara over this one, and mascara does go bad, right? So for this question, I'm gonna give it a 4. For the next question, since I have so many mascara, this one is kind of repetitive. I'm gonna give it a 5. So this item scored 66, which indicates irrational. It's not not about the product, it's about the time of my purchase. I really should have waited for this item. If I would have purchased this item a year later, this item will score very differently. The next one, let's go with this Wet n Wild green corrector. Honestly, I didn't really plan to get this one. It was kind of like an item that I got from browsing. I would consider this as an impulse purchase, but I did want to try it, and I only have one green corrector from Makeup Forever. I'm gonna give it a 7 for the first question and an 8 for the second question because I will get this one regardless of the sale. For question 3, 25% off is very decent for Wet n Wild, so I'm gonna give it an 8. For the next question, could I have waited for this item? This is a hard one because I have been using the Makeup Forever for a long time, and I'm kind of getting bored with it, like wanting to try something new. But again, what is really the point of having multiple similar products? Yeah, it's gonna get a 5 for this question. For the last question, I don't regret for getting this, and I can always find use for a green corrector. I'm gonna give it a 7 for the last question. So this item scored a 70 for this evaluation, which is another irrational purchase. Okay, I'm kind of really surprised with how the items have scored so far. I know some products were not gonna make it, but I didn't anticipate it was gonna be this many because so far I have 1, 2, 3, 4 irrational. Moving on. The e.l.f. green primer. This one was really spontaneous. Let me explain. I didn't want this primer at all because I didn't know it existed. Oh, this is not what I thought it was. It's balmy and it doesn't give any color. Okay, it's totally not what I thought it was. This is interesting. I gotta try it on my face. Anyways, back to the evaluation. Recently, I started mixing my Makeup Forever and the Sephora primer. So when I saw this, I thought it was a blend of a corrector and a pore-filling primer. That's why I really wanted to try it. I'm gonna go on with my evaluation, pretending that I didn't swatch it, okay? So this one's getting a 7 for question 1, 9 for question 2, 7 for question 3, and question 4, and an 8 for question 5. So at the end, this one scores a 70, which is not a pass, regardless. You never know, maybe after I try this on my face, I might like it better, right? Anyways, this is also an irrational purchase. So far, I'm killing it. Okay, the next one, the Essence Taupe. This one, honestly, I could have passed, although I am a fan of taupe eyeshadows. I didn't want this one as much as I wanted the green one. It's gonna get a 7 for the first and the second question, and 8 for the third question, which is the same as the green one. For question, oh my god, this is so hard to open. For question 4, I could have waited for this one because I wouldn't really mind if this one, if this one does get discontinued. I'm gonna give this one a quick swatch. Those shadows are really nice and creamy. Wow. Okay, that is a killer swatch. Oh my god. Okay, I'm amazed. Where was I? Should I have waited? I could have waited for this one. Like, I wouldn't be so stressed if this one does get discontinued. I'm gonna give it a 3 for question 4 and 7 for the last question. So 62 is the average score for this item. Although, if I could have swatched this one earlier, this item is going to score a lot higher. For now, this is going to be considered as an irrational purchase. Okay, so I think that leaves us with the big guy, the Pat McGrath Mothership 5 Midnight Sun. This one, I have mixed feelings for the first question. I love eyeshadows, so of course I wanted this eyeshadow, but not for very long because I never really thought about getting it for real because it is so expensive. If I'm really looking at my question, the first question is designed to ask regardless of the price. Because of that, I'm going to give this an 8 for the first question. And for the second question, if this one never goes on sale, would I still get it? I'm going to give it a 2. Spending almost $200 on eyeshadow palette is a lot. It's crazy. For the third question, I think I got this one for 40% off. So the sale percentage was big enough. I'm gonna give this an 8. For the next question, could I have waited for the next sale season? The answer would be yes, because I think I remember 2 years ago, Pat McGrath had the same sale percentage during Black Friday. I think I'm gonna give it a 5 for question 4. And for the last question, do I regret getting this? Frankly, not at all. Although this one's very expensive and I do have a lot of eyeshadows, eventually this would be an eyeshadow palette that I would want to have and want to try. In that sense, I'm actually gonna give this a 10. At the end, this item scored a 66, which is an irrational purchase. And let's give it a swatch. I'm just gonna pick 2 colors to swatch. I really want to swatch this one. That one's nice. The glitter shadows, they didn't really swatch that nice. Yeah, they didn't. See, it is very shiny, but I have to play with it. Okay, let's see. So it looks like I only have 3 items that was somehow rational. These 3 scored over 70. So if I could have lowered the mark to 70% instead of 75%, then I would have 6 items be considered as rational purchase and 4 of them considered irrational. You know what? All of this is just for fun. I know it in my heart that technically only this item should be considered as rational. All of this here is irrational purchase, maybe this one too. I don't have anything like this. But doing this evaluation was kind of eye-opening. The way some of those items scored was a total surprise for me. Because sometimes during the holidays, you like to treat yourself, right? Our mindset in terms of making purchase are very different during the holidays. Splurge here and there, like getting things that you didn't really need, and you could feel totally justified in that mindset. But when you come out of that mindset, look at your purchase more objectively, things tends to differ. And I think that's what happened here. Because initially, I honestly thought most of the purchases here are rational. I think my biggest takeaway from this evaluation is those questions. I could most definitely use those questions as my future guidance to double check with myself if I really want to be rational with my purchase. And yeah.
That was all the product I ended up purchasing. I'm also going to evaluate 3 more products I drilled on for days during the holiday sale that I was able to resist at the end where I didn't purchase them. Actually, all 3 of the products are eyeshadow palettes I wanted for a long time. I really have a spot for eyeshadows. First is the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nude. It was on sale on Sephora for half the price. I don't remember if there was a time that I was able to layer the VIP discount on top of it. But either way, it was a good price for 50% off. This was the item I actually wanted for a long time. But I have so much eyeshadows in this color story. I just had to tell myself to forget about how good I think the formula might be. This item, based on my evaluation, scored really high. But I'm super content I didn't get it. And if it happens again, I will still not get it. The second one is the Pat McGrath Mega Celestial Nevada. This one was on sale on Sephora for about half the price. For this one, I know for sure you were able to layer the VIP sale discount. I think it came close to almost about 60% off. So it was a major sale and very intriguing. Plus, I have always wanted to try the Pat McGrath eyeshadow formula. So after seeing the price and knowing that I can have this eyeshadow palette, I think I remember having butterflies. This one took a lot of mental practice. I really had to hold my temptations towards this one. The third one, the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. This item is still on sale on Sephora for 30% off. And I'm sure you were able to layer the VIP discount on this item as well. This one I wanted for 2 reasons. The color story and the formula. Because I don't have a lot of eyeshadows in the warm reddish color story. And the formula is what made Natasha Denona eyeshadow so popular. Everybody had one and everybody seemed to enjoy it. I have never tried anything from Natasha Denona, and being an eyeshadow lover, of course I wanted to try it, but I was actually able to talk myself down with this one quite easily. The reason being, I already decided I was going to get the Mothership 5 palette, and I just didn't want to spend another $100 on eyeshadow palette, given how much eyeshadow I already have. Like, I don't regret not getting it at all. I'm thinking about it now, I feel really proud. So that is all the evaluation. When I first had the idea of filming this video, I thought I was going to score good on the evaluation, but after seeing the result, I'm not all that impressed with my own purchases. The fact is, most of the purchases could have waited. I know I intentionally kept the products untouched just so I can have an unbiased evaluation for this video. The truth is, I didn't even have to try because I have things that I bought a year, maybe even 2 years ago that are still almost untouched. I think it's safe to say that I'm overconsumed, which is exactly why a no-buy is very necessary. I also think it's really important to put that no-buy mindset in my brain, that I need to not purchase anything beauty-related in this year. Otherwise, I think it's really easy for your mind to slip off. I have been on makeup low-buy for a couple years now. In 2018, I purchased 2 makeup-related items. Then from 2019, 2020, and all the way to end of 2021, that's almost 3 years, I didn't purchase anything makeup-related. So I felt good, and I convinced myself that I was on low-buy. At end of 2021, I placed 2 orders, one with Hourglass, one with Bobbi Brown. During 2022, I did make 1 makeup purchase and 2 skincare purchase, and everything else you see in this video. I was still convinced that I was on low-buy, even though it's not a lot of stuff I bought, and I really thought I was being intentional with what I'm getting. I could have done better in a sense that I could have waited. They could be sitting in the store waiting for me instead of sitting in the house waiting for me. That's why I want to make it clear to myself that I'm not making any purchase in this year. Now let's talk about no-buy in terms of what my goals are about this no-buy. Besides always reasons of slowing down the consumption and to save money, I was also hoping this no-buy would teach me some perspective. I kind of know what I'm expecting, but at the same time, I also don't really know what I'm expecting. Like in the beginning of the video, I mentioned I feel spoiled for being able to buy things anywhere, anytime. I really wouldn't mind to experience what it feels like to run out of certain things and not be able to get it. I think that'll be really good for my mind as a refresher. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. So in 2023, whole year, I wouldn't be buying anything makeup or skincare related. I don't think I would actually run out of anything, but if I do, that's even better, because then I will actually have the chance to decide whether or not I really need them. And that is everything for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. As always, I wish you enjoy yourself at whatever you do, and I hope to see you again. Bye-bye.